Hello, my name is Ricky, and I'm here at the Superior School of Threadology Long Arm Playground. We're glad that you can join us today and take a look at our brand new long arm classroom. Our classroom is comprised of 5 major brands with a total of 8 long arms. I'm going to talk to you today about achieving the perfect stitch using our decorative threads. I will be referring to our long arm tension guides that can be found at www.superiorthreads.com under the Education category, and then go down to Tension Guides for Long Arm Machines. We have compiled these guides using the TOA gauge, which you may be familiar with, and that is to gauge the tension on your bobbin thread. One thing I'd like to show you, this is a little tip that I have about bobbin cases. We have many people call in and say that their tension is very erratic on their bobbin case. So when you're cleaning your bobbin, when take out the bobbin from the case, take a straight pin and slide it right underneath this little tension spring here and all the way underneath here. You will find 9 times out of 10 a little bit of fuzz. Unfortunately, I don't have any fuzz to show you, but that takes that a little bit out. If there's any tiny bit of fuzz under there, when you pull your thread through, you won't be able to get a real consistent tension. So don't forget, when you're cleaning your machine and you're oiling everything, make sure that you clean out this spring area. I do it after every bobbin that I use. So we're going to test it on the TOA gauge to see what we're reading, and I'm testing it to see exactly what the tension is. I've gone around the bottom one and up through the top little dump, and I pulled on it. And I see that it's up at the 140, and my sheet says it should be 170 to 200. There's a small screw on the side of the bobbin. You can get to it without removing it from the TOA gauge, and you're going to tighten it just a little bit. So you're going to tighten it to the right, and now I'm going to test it again. Much, much better. That's where I want it to be. Now I'm ready to put my bobbin into my machine. But we have a brand new item we'd like to show you. It's a Superior Top Thread Tension Guide. When you receive this, in the back you'll see that this little hook is snapped in there. You just have to merely take this out. And then you'll take off the back cover and remove, there's a little piece of plastic that will be in there that will stop the battery from working. So pull that out so it's ready to go. Once you get it, there's an on-off button here. You'll turn it on and you'll have a choice of different measurements. I used ounces in ours. So you can just click on unit and get pounds, kilograms, or ounces. So just make sure you have it on ounces. And it's ready to go. The complete instructions will come with your guide as well. You're going to tie a little loop into your thread that's coming out of your needle. That thread can either come under the foot or over the foot. Just make sure that you're consistent when you do it every time. Once the loop is there, you're hooking it on to the little hook that's on the bottom of the gauge, and you're going to make sure that your gauge reads zeros across the top. When it does, you're ready to pull on it. As you pull on it, those numbers are going to change. And you may hear a little beep. When it's beep, it says that it's set. So in this case, my tension was set at 3.4. So if you want to test it 2 or 3 times in the beginning just to make sure that's where you want it, that's perfect. This guide will be wonderful and so useful for you because you'll be able to now test your tension on the upper thread as well as in the bobbin with your TOA gauge. I have tested these threads on all the machines that we have here in our classroom. I'm using the decorative threads for the purpose of showing you that they can in fact be run on all of your long arm machines. If your machine is not one of the machines that we have tested, you'll notice that there's a blank form that you can print out, and I would suggest doing that anyway. Because once we use those 2 tension guides, my machine may be different from your machine, and how I pull the thread is different than how you do. So these are just a general idea of where you can start. Once you have your figures all written down on the gauge, you'll be able to go back maybe 2 months later on a new quilt that you had already used rainbows on before that you loved, and then turn your tension guide to the number that you wrote down before, and it'll work just perfect. There are a few things you need to have for a successful run on your long arm machine. Make sure you've read your manual carefully and that you have threaded your machine correctly and loaded your quilt correctly. So many times you think you have, and just go back and take a little brief look at that. Also, your machine needs to be clean, well oiled, including the bobbin case. So once that has all been taken care of, you look at everything to make sure your needle is the correct size and in good condition. You'll notice on the guides that we've listed the needle numbers needed for each individual thread. It's very helpful if you run the correct needle size with the correct thread. Then you have to have correct bobbin tension and you have to have correct top tension. And the most important thing you need to have is patience. Once you get this taken care of and you've written down everything and you're running your machines, you're going to have so much luck. It's going to be exciting. So let's go and let's start looking at how we did our different machines. Check the guides. You can see below on the website that it lists every machine that we have tested. Go to the machine you have or something similar, or just watch a few of them if you don't have that machine and see how we did it. This will help you tremendously. Our threads can be run successfully on all of these machines. If you have a similar machine, take a look at the different videos and see how you can do this. Enjoy it. It's going to be a wonderful thing, and it's going to open up your world to so many new threads that you can use on your quilting.